Creative direction, whenever it's done right, is a super powerful tool to bring you into the artist world and give you a deeper sense of the music and the themes that are happening within that music. And every image and every design choice is all part of that experience. But it can be very easy to miss the mark when you're creating this world with the artist. And when creative direction goes bad, it makes the entire project look disjointed and messy and uninspired. And it poorly reflects on the music and the artist themselves. So today we're going to be talking about the biggest creative direction killers that I see happening within the music industry right now. Now there's a ton of ways that your creative direction can go off track, but I've narrowed it down to the 5 key things that I see happening right now, and we're going to talk about ways to avoid them. But first, what's up guys? My name's Evan Kaufman. I'm a creative director. I am a filmmaker. I've worked between the music industry and the film industry for my entire career. So if you guys are enjoying the content that we are discussing here, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot.
Creative Direction Studio.
Okay, creative direction killers, here we go. The first one is an overemphasis on current trends. Following creative trends without considering the relevance of your artist's brand or identity is really going to make the entire project feel too generic or weak. Not to mention that it's also going to get lost in the sea of other artists who are doing that exact same thing. Really spend time with that artist's brand and really spend time permeating and thinking about what specific messaging is there and how you are going to translate that visually. Now, don't get me wrong here. There will definitely be times when you meet with an artist and talk with them and they're going to say, you know, I really love what Beyonce's doing. I really love what Taylor Swift's doing. I really love whatever big artist is doing right now. But use that as inspiration and use that as a way that you and the artist can collaborate and find something in the middle, something that's unique to them but maybe has, you know, similar aesthetic or design choices as whatever that other artist is. But make sure that whatever route it is, that it feels unique and that it doesn't feel like a bland knockoff of this other artist's brand or logo or design choices. Okay, number 2, neglecting visual cohesiveness. Listen carefully to this because I think this gets overlooked a lot, but your creative direction is nothing if it's not consistent. Everything that you post needs to be and should be reflective of that artist brand in some way, shape, or form. Now, don't hear this wrong. You shouldn't be posting the same content across all platforms, but you should be posting platform-specific content that feels consistent. Maybe it's a font choice from the artist's new album or single cover. Maybe it's a color that is in there, that is prominent in there. Maybe it is an aesthetic. Maybe it's the way that it's shot or the way that it's lit. But whatever that is, let there be a cohesiveness between everything that is posted on Instagram and TikTok and X and all these other platforms. Make sure that it is reflective of that core brand. Because here's the thing, if this artist is not posting consistent content across the board, the artist brand is ultimately going to take the hit here. The artist brand is going to feel weak or disjointed or lazy. And right now, within the music space, there is way too much competition to have a brand that doesn't feel inspired. Okay, the next thing, ignoring feedback. This is a pain point for a lot of creatives in general, and trust me, I get it. I get it probably better than anybody. I'm precious about the work that I do, and I don't like handing it to, I don't like handing something to somebody else that I feel super passionate about and that I spent hours on and that I feel is perfect, just to have them tell me, you know, yeah, I feel like we could brighten it up here. I feel like we could make the logo bigger.
I want a bigger logo! You can't handle a bigger logo!
This is really the point that separates the novices from the professionals. Like, if you want to work in creative direction and be taken seriously in it, you got to have thick skin. And it's really important to be able to have a core group who you trust feedback with, that you can hand off an album cover design and say, hey, what do you think about this? And let them really tear it apart. And sometimes they're gonna look at it and say, oh dude, that's amazing, that looks fantastic. And sometimes they're gonna look at it and say, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the colors, it's too messy, it's whatever it is. But having people who you trust, who you can get solid feedback from, is so important, and is the one thing that will make you a better creative director, a better designer, a better editor. It'll make you better across the board. So don't neglect that one. It's really, really important. Okay, my next point here is neglecting collaboration. It is really, really important for creative directors to hold on to the vision in your head and then hire out the best people for that job. Now, if you're like me, and if you're a creative director, you probably are like me, you're kind of a jack of all trades. Like, I can open up Photoshop and I can design something pretty great. I can open up a video editing suite and I can edit something pretty great. I can take all of the tools that I know and I can deliver something that I think is pretty great. But when you're working at a certain scale, it's really important to deliver something that's better than great. So there may be times when I feel like I could design a poster, but I know that designer over here would be a much better fit for it. Go with the guy who's going to be the better fit. Don't take on the project. Don't have this jack of all trades mentality unless you absolutely have to. Now, there is a time and a place for it. Budget constraints, I completely get that. And that's going to be the time when I think this jack of all trades mentality is what's really going to pull you through. It is great to know all of the assets. It's great to know how to do Photoshop and how to do After Effects and how to do, design and how to, and to have a strong sense of taste for it. But anytime that you can hire the best people for the job, hire the guy who only does the video work, hire the guy who only does the design work, and you lead that entire process, you're gonna get a campaign and you're gonna get creative direction that is as tight as it can possibly be. So anytime that you can explore those options and hire out different pieces of it, I would absolutely encourage you to do that. Number 5, and the last thing that I have on this list is, at the end of the day, you can come up with the best creative direction and the best pitch, and you can spend time thinking about what the album cover should look like and thinking about the perfect font for it and the perfect design and the perfect texture and aesthetic. But if the artist doesn't vibe with it, if the artist doesn't like it, you gotta go with what the artist wants. And it is your job to take what the artist wants and to elevate it in a way that you can reflect your own personal style and taste and come up with something that you are both super proud of. And I have been in discussions with artists so many times where they see something entirely different than I do. So I have to really pivot and give them what they want. And it doesn't mean that I can't still have a checklist of things that I think ought to be in there, but it means that I have to do that in a creative way that still aligns with their visual preference for this. So guys, always let the artist dictate what they want. It is our job to support that vision. It is our job to help execute the vision as they see it. But it's our job to also elevate it, make it better than they're even thinking. And a lot of the times that comes with a little bit of discussion and it comes with a little bit of headbutting. But if you have a strong vision for it, lean into that, but just know at the end of the day, the artist is the one paying your bill. The artist is the one who really needs to have the control over that and choose what they want. So lean into it, support the vision, do it in a way that you feel proud of and that you have your own checklist out of. All right, guys, so those are my 5 things to where I really see creative direction veering off track. And when you're able to really hone into this and get all of this under control, your creative direction will be as strong as it can possibly be. And you'll get hired for the next job and the next one, and the budgets will get bigger and everything will be happy and you guys will live happy lives and never be sick. I would love to hear from you guys if you have put any of this into effect in your own work, or if you have just a different list in general. I am all ears. I love to chat with you guys. I've been getting a couple DMs. I've been getting some emails. I love it. Please continue to reach out. Tell me what you like about the videos. Tell me what you don't vibe with as much. But I do want to hear it, and if there's any way that I can help you guys out. But if you guys have questions about creative direction or jobs in general, let me know. Happy to walk through any of that with you guys as much as I can. I will always try to. So you guys have a great one. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.